Good morning. It is Tuesday, June 22nd. It's around 8 o'clock. I got into work to do summer school a couple of minutes ago, and I've just been setting up. I decided to set up something I like to do is I like to put on live cams of bird feeders. There's all kinds of nature live cams, so I'll just put on a live cam and I'll turn the mute off, because you can play, at least on my computer, you can play two different it's still early, I haven't drank very much coffee. You can play two different YouTube videos, so you can have the live cam as like your picture, especially if the music video that you've got is like, you don't really want to post it. So for instance, the one I have has like a guy going on his, just a still picture, and I'm like, really, that's pretty boring and not very interesting. So I like the bird feeder live cams because they're usually pretty active. I like to pick ones that have water in them, and I think that it just puts like a peaceful mood, and it's a window, because I think if you've been here for any length of time, you know that my school doesn't have windows. Like, none of the classrooms that I've ever been in, the only classroom that has a window is, there is one first grade classroom that has a window. And other than that, all the rest of the classrooms have no windows. So I like this because it gives me kind of like a window. That is one thing. I'm like, I love my school. I don't really want to change, but if somebody told me that I could have a classroom with a window and a sink, oh my goodness, it would be a struggle not to go there. So anyway, today we are working on, I'm just going to grab what we're working on. We are working on a nonfiction passage from Reading A to Z. This is my group. We did the first read yesterday with two groups about growth mindset, and we have some questions. I don't know if I showed those last time, so you just read through. I had some questions that you could find in the text for the first read. We're working through the reading pretty good. I feel pretty good about reading. I went ahead yesterday and I printed out a whole bunch of, let me find them, a whole bunch of these graphic organizers that I do for multiplication and division, and I haven't done them much this year because of being on the computer. I did make them for the computer, and I did videos on how to use them on the computer, but you know how the students can comment sometimes on Google Classroom? I had a lot of comments like, oh my gosh, this is so difficult, why is it so long? So, but it's kind of funny because when we do it in class, they're always like, this is fun. So for instance, I don't know if you're familiar, at least in my district, and we have a multiplication strategy called the box matrix multiplication. And I do it like this, because my students always like box matrix. Most of them like box matrix, especially when I make the graphic organizer. But the one thing that we always have trouble with, and I have to go over and over again, is the fact that you do not multiply numbers, because you have to put them in expanded form to fill out the box matrix. You don't multiply numbers times their other part of the expanded form. So for instance, this is why I work it out pretty detailed. So down here, our problem is 56 times 78. This is a kid's copy. There's no name on it, so it's okay. So first thing you do is you put it in expanded form. So I have a little place value chart here. You put it in expanded form, and you have the new problem with the expanded form. Then with box matrix, you put part of the numbers on one side and part of the numbers on the top, and then you have to fill in the boxes in the middle and then add everything up. And then I also have a partial products graphic organizer, and I use the same vocabulary with using the alphabet. So the A, the B numbers. It becomes even a bigger deal, that idea of A and B numbers, with partial product multiplication, because this is the one that they almost always have trouble with remembering, not to multiply the parts of the number times themselves. So I have that one. We'll probably use it today. We used the box matrix yesterday. I have the distributive one, which was a bear to make, and it's still probably not real great, but this is the one I made on the computer. So the distributive strategy is usually for 4 times 1 digit numbers, like 4 digit times 1 digit numbers. So I have a place value chart, and then the digit that the factor that we're multiplying times is the heart factor. And so there's a little heart next to all of them, and I went ahead and filled in the zeros. I don't know if I would do that. I usually don't when I'm like just drawing it freehand, but when I was doing it on the computer, I did it this way. So basically these are just to try and help the students organize their numbers for multiplication, because it can get a little bit disorganized. I don't have a standard algorithm graphic organizer because technically 4th grade doesn't have that standard to teach the standard algorithm. I still do teach the standard algorithm, but it's more of a like a by the by, here's another way of doing it, which we do have to figure that out with admin and our curriculum and everything, because we were talking with 5th grade. My team was talking with 5th grade, and we were realizing that 5th grade jumps into standard algorithm with 2-digit times 3-digit, which we're like, okay, someone's missing something here. So we might have to revisit that, and I might have to update my graphic organizers. Last graphic organizer for multiplication, because this is why multiplication gets difficult in 4th grade. We have 4 methods. Not counting standard algorithm, is the area method. And again, when you're making this on the computer, it's a harder thing. I just kind of set up, because the area method is supposed to kind of reference area of a rectangle. So you'd have more in one area than others. I also have some division ones that I use. I kind of went hog wild with the graphic organizer making. I'm going to set up for the day though, so I think I'm going to let you go. That's basically what we're working on today, and everything else is the same. We're still doing number of the day, we're still doing writing, and stations. So I'll talk to you in a little bit when we're done with the day. I almost completely forgot to check in again at the end of today. So it's still Tuesday, and I've just been pretty busy. We had a really good summer school session, though I will say everybody was kind of like out of it. And I had so many kids gone. I had one boy. Like, I have quite a few boys, but only one today. So I had quite a few kids gone. And I think that will be the trend continuing forward. I just, there's just stuff in my throat all the time. TMI, I'm sure. Anyway, that's why I've got the sound. I had to contact a couple. I've had to put on our class dojo, because I have a summer school class dojo. I had to put on there that I need the students to come even on days where there's field trip for summer camp planned, because I found out I had at least one student who went straight to summer camp instead of to summer school, because later, they were having a field trip. They weren't having a field trip during the time when summer school was going on. So I put on, sent his parent a quick note like, hey, he needs to be coming to summer school. We'll make sure he gets to his field trip. Don't worry. because yeah, he just missed his reading intervention because she can only see him on the days. Also have field trips scheduled on them, and but not at the same time. Little like weird scheduling situation. I wanted to show you something. So my friend who works here, she works kind of as parapro in 4th grade. Her husband just came, he was deployed, he just came back, and she brought me this that she'd had him get. It's sand art, and it has the most beautiful, beautiful art on there, and it says my name, and that's not written on the bottle, that's in the sand. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. It's I don't know where it's from. Like I said, he was deployed, so don't really know where he was from. But wherever it is, makes beautiful sand art. I was thrilled by that. I'll keep that. Other thing going on today, we worked on multiplication and division. I think that it was a good choice to bring in the graphic organizers because it was going a lot better. Of course, the main problem with graphic organizers is you have to keep on making sure they understand this is just to help you. You can draw this anytime. You can do this without the graphic organizer. So it's just a tool, it's a crutch that I'm hoping that it'll at least make them more confident with their multiplication and division, which it does seem to be doing that. They seem a little less overwhelmed by the big numbers, which is what's been going on. And I had to talk because, like I said, last week we had a bad test, so that's why I'm redoing my plans. So it leaves me 1 week short. And so I had to talk with the 5th grade teacher and be like, which would you rather me teach for the last week of school? Would you rather me do prime, composite, multiples, and factors, or fractions? And he said he would rather have them more confident on factors, multiples, prime, and composite, and he would hit fractions. So, not that he's the only 5th grade teacher, but, you know, as a group, he probably is representative. So that's what I'm going to do next week. So I'm going to start my planning. Yeah, I think that's it because I really want to go home. I'm actually really hungry. It's 1:30. We get out at 11:30. Kind of tells you I've been here way too long. So I'm going to go. All right. Good morning. I'm actually just finished with summer school. It's about 11:50, so I just dropped off the kids, stopped in to the teacher's lounge to pick up some things, and came back to clean up. So anyway, I didn't check in this morning because it was a very busy morning. I got here and I had some emails. I'll go ahead and take these off. Emails to answer because I'm trying to get into a training course for the flipped classroom. So I did a webinar on flipped classroom model, and so I'm wanting to get into the full course so that I can have all the training on it. So I had to email my principal. She's out of town, so she emailed me back to see what was options, and she said that there was funding options, so yay. And I'm going to go forward with that, but I still have to check my email again and see if I can't get that taken care of. Today, I'm just finding this week a lot of kids are very, very sleepy. So I keep having the issue with them being so sleepy once they get to my table, and I'm just like, you gotta wake up and we gotta do this. I know one kid, the reason was because he had to take his grandma to the airport at 2 a.m. So I get that, but there were a lot of them. And really hoping that they'll perk up a little bit. I'm trying to stay upbeat, but I know that what we're doing is kind of repetitious. I'm trying to get them into where it doesn't take a whole lot of thought to do these things. Like when they read a text, how do we find the meaning in words? How do we answer questions using text evidence? So it just is kind of repetitious, where you're just like, we're going to read another text and we're going to do this again, or we're going to multiply another set of numbers and we're going to do it this way again. We're just going to get into that habit. So if anybody has ideas like about how to make that in itself, that repetition, fun, I have set up like my stations. So my stations are the same every time, but I have them practicing the same skills. So I do have them like playing Blook It, which I had to go over because I was watching one, like I was at my table, but I was watching one of the kids at this other station, and I'm like, they keep answering the questions so fast, but these are 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication, and I've seen how fast this kid can do this, and he keeps answering questions fast. So I went over and checked on him, and he's like, oh, the one you put has weird answers. Well, that was exciting. I had to turn off the camera real quick because somebody came in. It was my summer school principal. They just worked, they got it all figured out. So I'm set to do this training. Little bit worried because I'm going on vacation and we really don't have a whole lot longer for summer. So our school year starts July the 20, well, I mean, for kids it starts whatever the first weekday of August is, but we come back the end of July. So I'm going to be working on that course. It's going to be a little bit intense, but I'm really excited because I think it'll help me in the long run, because I really like the idea of a flipped classroom. If you've never heard about it before, it's the idea that you record videos of your instruction and you can either assign them as homework, or you can assign them as a station, or like a beginning part of class. And then you spend most of your class time interacting with the students in different ways. And I really like that idea. It's something that I've kind of been doing in a certain way with my summer school. The only difference is with the true flipped classroom, it's supposed to be your instruction. So I've been using videos that I just found, and and that does have limitations. Like, for example, when I'm teaching the multiplication and division strategies, there's a couple strategies that, like, apparently nobody makes videos about these. I have looked like so many times and I don't find the way that we test. So it wouldn't make any difference if we didn't test it a certain way, which unfortunately we do. So the way we test it is different from apparently all the other videos out there. So that would be something. I'm thinking of flipping math. And if you've never heard of flipped classroom, I suggest looking at teachonamission.com. Mandy Rice, that's who I'm going to be taking the course with. So anyway, that's all set. Now I am going to work on next week. I want to get the EdPuzzles done, and I want to get out of here in an hour because this is Wednesday, and on Wednesday my church does what's called family summer fun night type thing, where we have a dinner, we have some music, we have Bible studies, and I'm supposed to help with setting up the dinner. So I got to get out of here. And I also, I'm just, this is just who I am. I'm kind of crazy. I also started painting my bathroom yesterday. So yeah, there's blue paint on me. I painted my bathroom. And I still need to put a second coat on. We'll see whether that happens today or not. I'm gonna go. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, so I thought I'd take a moment out of our regularly scheduled summer school content and show you my backyard, because that's something that, even though it's not very pretty, I kind of like. So, randomness, this is either, I think it's a broccoli plant. Sorry for that, my allergies. broccoli plant that randomly sprouted. There's a pomegranate tree, there's a grapevine, there's a rose bush. They're all very burnt. So this is another rose bush. Some raspberries. Thank you, dog, for getting into my shot. I just kind of, these are some raspberries. I haven't decided where to put them. I've got some tomatoes and some squash and some zinnias and these big ol' sunflowers. So I'm just kind of like, this is very low key, just making me happy. So I'm using, I have horrible soil. That's my dog, by the way. Her name is Aria. She's an interesting, dramatic little girl. Anyway, I don't have very good soil in my yard. It's like that. So I have to bring soil in, and I found that the Dollar Tree with its big garden bags actually is they're a pretty good deal, and they work pretty well. I have some just kind of random plants, spider plant. I really like these black-eyed Susan. They're pretty. That's my other dog, Wesley. They're both trying to see how gross they can be so that I catch it on camera. This was a cute little flag I found in the Dollar Tree. I have another rose here that is not currently having any blooms on it. They're kind of all stressed out by how hot it's been. It's been up in the 115 and so on for the last month, few weeks. So anyway, I just thought I'd show some pretty parts of my garden. Oh, that sunflower is really pretty. As you can see, we might get rain. I'm really hoping we might get rain. It's very windy out right now. It's kind of dark over in that corner. That's all. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, July. I'm gonna say July. No, it's not July. It's still June. And I think it's the 25th. Honestly, I don't know. Because I haven't looked at my calendar yet today. I was just about to do that. I just got into school. It's 8 o'clock. I have such a throat, like, full of allergy stuff. Anyway, though it is better because we had rain. I'm so excited. We had some rain yesterday. Now, it wasn't like a big rain. It was like sprinkling all afternoon, but it was still rain. It took some of the dirt out of the air. Hopefully it moves over, because we've got big fires going in several parts of our states. So that smoke was in our air, but now it's all been washed away. So it's bright and beautiful today. It's very humid for Arizona, which is to say it's probably not very humid for anybody else, but it's very humid for Arizona. And of course I've got my hair down, figures. But I needed a break from the up. I don't do well with my hair up. I have to, that's why I put it to the side first, because if I try and put a ponytail, it just hurts. So anyway, so I've got it down to let it kind of like my scalp rest. And we're gonna start today of summer school. Thursday, I'm really kind of hoping that my kiddo who needs reading intervention, because this will be the only reading intervention he'll get for the last 2 weeks if he comes today, because next week he said he's going on vacation. So you do what you can. And other than that, we're trying to really like push in as much multiplication and division practice as possible. Really coming down to the wire, I realized yesterday as I was planning that this next week is the last week of summer school. It's the last week that I'll have a chance, and I don't know how long a lot of them are going to be in summer school, because I've heard multiple students say that they're not coming to the last day or they're going to miss part of it. So I'm like, so this is kind of the last week of like real dedicated learning, because I have a feeling next week's going to be just like fraying. I decided to go ahead and start putting my new planner together. So I got a new planner that starts in July, and it's the, let's see, it's the floral one. This is the back of it. I don't really like the cover. I love the insides. The insides are beautiful. So like, this is the first divider, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And then the insides, the dailies, I don't know if you can see that. I love the yellow. It has yellow dates. It has minimal decoration, and so very easy to decorate. But the only problem is I don't really like the cover. So I was experimenting with the cover, and I'm thinking I'm using this one right now. So I just turned the back side so that the inside of the back is facing out, and I put some stickers on it. This elephant, of course, doesn't really go with the roses. I probably won't keep it, but I just was like stuck it on because it was fun, because I've been wanting to use this sticker, which I got. It's a shaker sticker. It has little confetti inside it. So I was just having fun. I'm using the back of the home body for the back, and a teaching colleague gave me this keychain, which you can't really see. It has like it has a zebra, a giraffe, and an elephant. Oh, you can't even sort of see that, but it's super cute. I'd like to get a different lanyard that matches, like a gold lanyard. But those are just some of the things that I've done recently. I am going to film a clip of my bathroom today if I get a chance, because I want to finish it today. That's the goal. I have to figure out how to finish painting behind the toilet without taking the toilet out, because I do not want to redo the toilet. So, and it's really close to the wall. We'll figure it out. But it's looking good. It's very bright colored, but I think I like it. It's growing on me. So I'm going to get working, and I will check back in at the end. So that is the end of summer school for Thursday, and this is almost the last week. It's the third week. We have one more week. So it was a good day. It was as usual, a fast day. I will say I had to send someone home sick. So the younger grades have been dealing with a stomach bug, and I might have my first stomach bug. So this girl, she was off. She's usually very sweet and very bubbly and everything. She was very subdued, so I asked her, like, what's wrong? She said her stomach was hurting, so I'm like, well, why don't you go to the bathroom? And then it kept hurting, so I'm like, you need to go. You need to go home. Please don't get me sick. So she went home, and hopefully it was just, she thought it was indigestion. She ate something. I know they have to walk in the heat a lot of times, so who knows. But here's hoping that it's not the flu, because I don't want to get that. I can just see it. I get sick with the flu on my last week before I go on my vacation. It would just be poetic justice, except unjust. So anyway, end of the day, good day. I really hope that all the practice we've done this week sticks, because we're taking our test tomorrow, and I really, really, really want it to be better than last week's test, which was horrible. So we're going to hope for that. I have some things that I want to put into my prize drawer. So this, I've always had like some kind of prize thing. Different years, sometimes I've done coupons instead of like stuffed prizes. This year I did stuffed prizes, but I thought since I had some stuff to put in it, I would go ahead and show you what it looks like. So nothing fancy, definitely nothing Nothing Pinteresty, but this is how I do my prize stuff. So, okay, so this is the stuff that I need to put in. I was at the dollar store and I like to get, when they have 2-packs, so they've had 2-packs of these icy or different flavor lip balms, so that makes it at 50 cents each, which is not bad. So they have these Airheads, and they had a pack of 3 of the novelty balls, and I also found, sorry about the noise, I also found this 1 pound bag of candy fruit chews. So the way I've done my prize bin this year has been, they're not allowed to touch the stuff. I'm only allowed, so I put it in Ziploc bins. So like for instance, I made this my Monday one, so if I drew people to get prizes on Monday, I would just kind of lay it out like this and have them pick whatever they wanted by pointing at it, and then I would get in it so that I wouldn't have to worry about it. So I usually put like 1 or 2 things in each day. So like I'll put a cherry in that one, and then I'll go through and I'll go to the Tuesday one and I'll put the other cherry in that one, just so that there's a variety of things for each day. The only difference is I do have some that are like only pencils or only something. So open this up. I'm holding you with my chin so that I can have both hands free. It's a Friday one. I'll put just this netting. Put one of the balls in there. It went rolling off. I'll put another one in there, another one. So it's worked out really well because there's always a variety and they never know what day they might pick, what kind of stuff might be in it. And I've got a lot of stuff because I just, keep an eye out all through the year. I think I'm actually going to put these because I've got, for summer school, I've been using a candy jar. So they had these plastic candy jars at the Dollar Tree. And I just got one and thought, that'd be fun. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing with my camera. That'd be fun to put out for summer school. And they've really liked it. I haven't actually gotten into any of the other stuff since then. Hopefully that didn't make anybody too sick, because I know that I'm not the best camera person. But as I'm sure many people have said, intrinsic rewards are the best. Them wanting to do well for the sake of doing well. As 9 and 10-year-olds, if they have that, that's great. And I definitely work with it and I definitely support it. A lot of them don't, like a lot. So I have to live with what is, not what I want to be. So I have these and they have worked pretty well. I have been yapping for a little while. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna go get ready to go home. I'm in my room. I'm looking at my room and the beautiful floor. Isn't it beautiful? They still need to put the trim up, but they've put some of the stuff back, which is a good sign. It means that hopefully soon I can start resetting it up out to the hall beyond. So I'm just kind of thrilled. I think I'm gonna come back in later and think about where I want to put stuff. Good morning. It's Friday. the 25th of June. I am so glad it's Friday. Even though it's half days and everything, just getting up early and having to have everything ready is a little bit more than I'm feeling like, especially since I finished painting my bathroom. Yesterday. I'll have to take a short little tour through there sometime in this. But yeah, my back hurts and my arms hurt. Because, yeah. It's not a huge bathroom, but it's not super small either. It's definitely a full bath. So, a lot of trimming. I don't do very good at trimming. My edges are not clean. My sister, I sent her a picture and she was remarking on how rough my edges looked. And I'm like, oh my goodness. On other news, okay, can anybody else relate? This mask is fuzzy inside. I don't know how it got washed, what was wrong with the way it got washed, but I'm like pulling stuff off the inside and it's driving me nuts because every time I put it on, it feels fuzzy inside. I hate that feeling. It's a cute mask though, so we have to wear masks, yes, still. I am giving we're doing regular reading and as usual, and then I'm giving our math test, which printed much better this time. So it actually, I don't know if you can see this. Does anybody else have this method that they teach? The box matrix method? It's not a bad method. There's nothing wrong with it. But I don't find a whole lot of examples of it anywhere else outside of our district. Thankfully, division is however you want to get it. The answer. So that's good. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about, so I'm going to actually talk to you after school, and we'll wrap this school week up. Okay, so week 3 of summer school is over, finished. I've been in the class. I already graded the math test we took, and I wouldn't say that we knocked it out of the park. However, there was some improvement. And most everybody had at least 1 or at least a half a point of growth, except one student. But then I looked back and realized he'd been absent the entire last week. So this is his first week with it. So it is what it is. I still had to do a lot of as I'm walking through, monitoring the test, being honey, we're not repeatedly subtracting. Use one of the strategies we worked on this week. Because a couple of them were starting that off, and I'm like, no, that's not what we did at all this week. We're not going to subtract or add. I think they were actually adding for that one. One of them was going to try and add 2,100 and something 8 times. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So, a little improvement. I had 6 students today. 6. I have multiple students who are sick, which is scaring me. No, do not get me sick. Please do not get me sick the week before I go on vacation. Please do not get me sick. Doing a lot of sanitizing, doing a lot of distancing, because yeah, I had at least 3 who were out sick. So I'm not wanting to get that. Apparently it's some kind of stomach thing. No, don't want that. As far as I'm all prepped and printed for next week. I have all my last week of reading. I have my last week of math, which is going to be factors, multiples, prime, and composite. And so I'm ready to go. So I'm going to say bye. I might show my bathroom a little bit later, but other than that, I'm pretty much done with this week. So, bye. Okay, I didn't think I had enough to get a before shot of my bathroom, but I did want to show what I did. So if you kind of look here, that kind of beige, it's kind of a pinky oatmeal-y color, was the color of the bathroom. So now I'm going to go and show you what I turned it into. The entrance to the bathroom. And now it's very blue. Sorry about the... So very blue. So I changed the color. Oops, it's very hard to see. So changed the color to blue. Got in some new mats that are the same color. And did a little bit of decorating. Kind of, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it that way, but... And then... that's kind of just a interesting story. I was thinking about doing a darker blue, and so I painted that section, and then we decided it was too dark, so I kind of stenciled and kind of messed around. So anyway, so then we're back.